Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Headkrack After Hours. Is one of the dopest dudes to pick up a microphone and blow some dope into it.
Yeah, I definitely do that too.
Yo, man, currently on tour right now, getting ready to set up his next big opus, Rolling Papers 2, one time for Wiz Khalifa.
What up, what up, what up?
Yo, man, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it has been a little bit.
And you've been making the headlines for 1,000 different things as of lately. Like your gym etiquette is on another level right now.
Working out, trying to stay healthy.
Now, was there, like, you always strike me as a dude who was healthy to begin with, right?
Yeah.
What was the thing that happened where you was like, you know what, bump this. I'm going to the gym. I'm going 5 times a week.
I just had some time off, and I figured I'd just, get up and get moving. And the gym is like a great place because of the community, the people there. I get to learn a lot about my body and just recovery and how to stay, stay with it. So it's fun, man. It's a challenge.
Word.
Yeah.
And not only are you working out, you're also doing like martial arts as well.
Yeah.
You're doing not Muay Thai.
Yeah, Muay Thai.
Man, and that's an aggressive thing because that's not like a thing where you can like, we're going to slap box, play around with it a little bit. Like, contact.
For sure. Muay Thai is very brutal. And just the training, like even just the conditioning part is really, really intense. But after you kind of break through those walls, you kind of just figure out new stuff about yourself and your capabilities. And it's been a really good experience and something that I'm going to stick with forever.
Like your first day in there, like were you gassed at all?
Oh, man, I threw up everywhere. I threw up like crazy. Like I think I threw up during the warm-ups. Like we didn't even get into like how crazy it really is, and I was puking.
And how long ago was this when you started?
It was about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, my first day was in May last year, so yeah, I've been doing it for a year now.
Yo, doesn't it, like, once you like start getting in real good, if someone's throwing a punch, it almost like you can see the punch coming, it telegraphs everything, you're not afraid to get hit anymore?
Yeah, you start looking in between the lines and start to see like shoulder movements and hip movements, and that's how you respond, how to cover up and things like that, and then pivoting and footwork and all of that stuff that starts to play in there too. So it's like you just get more confident and learning space in between people and all of that different stuff. And we spar a lot, and that's the cool thing about it is we always get to put it to use. So I'm not just gaining all of this knowledge, like I'm getting to actually put it to use too.
So do you bring a guy with you on the road, like when you go on tour? I know it's been a minute since a big tour. But
yeah. Being that I just started back on tour, I'm still figuring out what we're gonna do. So now we just meet up with people in every city that we're at. Like I train with a guy in New York. I'm not gonna get to train here, but I'll probably train tomorrow and wherever I'm at.
Staying on it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you were like one of the first dominoes to fall that set a trajectory of a whole bunch of people that you ain't never seen near a gym, associated with gyms, getting in the gym.
Yeah.
I know Snoop Dogg is getting to it.
Yeah.
I seen Jim Jones in the gym getting to it.
Yeah. Jim Jones had been in there for a minute. Snoop definitely just now started out, and he's killing it. He loves it. But that's the thing, man. It's like you get inspired by the people around you, and sometimes you can see 100 people doing something, but then you see the right person do it, and you be like, all right, cool, now I'm going to get into it.
Yeah, so if there was like a rap version of Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
And you could build a game and throw rappers in it just based off, their skill set.
Yeah.
Who goes in the game?
Me, Snoop, 50. I seen Rick Ross. He would be cool in the game. It's got to be somebody short, so like Trippie Redd or something like that.
All right.
He seems like he can get pretty angry on a Mortal Kombat game. Who else? It's got to be a girl. So Lil Debbie.
She's a little scrappy.
And there's got to be like an animal too. So who's like the craziest rapper that you could turn into an animal?
DMX.
Yeah, there we go.
Like
DMX.
Special code turns into an actual dog. He's doing stuff.
Yep, perfect. Yep, we got it.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah.
And maybe Tekashi 6ix9ine could be an unlockable DLC.
He would be like a boss on the game for sure. Like to just. Yeah,
I'm on drugs and I don't feel pain.
You have to kill him multiple times because he just keeps coming back.
That would be nuts, man. So you get into a point in your career, like when you add up the actual projects, when you add up the actual mixtapes, like you have an inflated catalog.
Yeah, yep.
So as you go into new projects and go on tour to promote them, you have to execute a hostage or two.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the songs that you miss doing that you haven't been able to do in a while because your catalog is so dense right now?
Probably stuff like Ink My Whole Body, like Studio Lovin', like Sky High, When I'm Gone. Certain joints like that when I would perform them back in the day, it was just such a big moment. And now it's like, it's not that they don't matter, but it's like I only have so much time on stage.
You gotta do this.
I gotta
the hits.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's the worst thing that can happen for an artist to blow up and get to a certain level because those core fans who've been there from like, the Show and Prove era or like.
Well, I've been really lucky because it's like my fans are getting younger. So a lot of them, some of them, they don't know that mixtape stuff either. So it's like when I perform on stage, it's really like a gauge between the crowd of what they know. I don't want to go too far over their heads. Like you could always type in Wiz on YouTube and just get a full tutorial of all my music. So I kind of just use this show as a segue into that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yo, now with the the records, one of the big monster smashes that stayed on the charts for a long time is the record with Charlie Puth.
Yep.
Long Day Till I See You Again.
Yep.
Like when you get a record like that, right?
Yeah.
And you already had records that had you popping.
Right.
You low-key could have retired after that one, right? Like,
I know, most people would, right? Or just be chilling, like living off of that success.
But like because of the way the business is set up now, is it set up in a way where like you get that big record like that and you could chill if you wanted to?
Yeah, I think it's just like a matter of the artist, for real. There's only a certain amount of artists who know how to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? And nobody really gauges like when that's going to happen. But for me, I've just been able to really just roll with the success and just make new moments as well as have a really good foundation to stand on.
Now, one thing I noticed about you, no matter what year it is, you always level up with the style. Like you never sound like out of pocket, outdated. Even with this new record, Real Rich with Gucci Mane, you even doing the time-wise thing. Like, people doing 2-minute songs now. Yeah. And like songs 2 minutes. Yep. You sound current as hell.
Yeah. That's the idea, man. I want to stay current. I don't ever feel like I have to try because I'm such a big fan of music and like I've established myself as somebody who can do lyrical, who can do melodic stuff, who could do, just like really fun cadences, just like really loose. So it's like at any given time I could just do any style and be accepted. So right now it's my time to flex all of those abilities, and that's why we just, like I said, picking the best moments and putting them out there.
Now with Rolling Papers 2, do you see yourself working with some of the producers who you worked with on previous projects who you ain't messed with in a minute?
It's a lot of sledging on there who I have messed with, but people haven't heard us on this scale. You know what I mean? They're used to hearing me and Sledger do mixtape music, but now that it's the album, it's going to translate and it's going to sound, you know what I mean? People are going to get that, and they've been waiting on that for a long time. TM from 808 Mafia, he's Taylor Gang. And we've been cooking up, and we kind of developed our own sound, so people's going to get to experience that on there. E-Dan, who's my Pittsburgh producer, my OG, my mentor, me and him made some of our best songs that we've ever made, and that just gives the real Rolling Papers vibe because a lot of people's favorite songs are like The Race and When I'm Gone, and like me and E put a lot of energy into those, so to be able to return to that and bring that sound out is good too. But then I got Tay Keith, who's a new producer. He did Real Rich. I did songs with Young Chop on the album. So there's a couple other people who was like, we found that pocket and it made sense.
Dope. Now, is there a particular producer that you deal with that has your number every time? Like your go-to guy, you always going to get the results?
I would have to say my go-to is, there's a couple of them. It's like Sledgerin, E-Dan, TM, and Harry Fraud.
Yo, Harry Fraud is dope. I think the first time I got hip to him, I think he won a producer battle, and he slayed a lot of dope people.
Yeah, Harry Fraud is crazy. Drummer Boy, too.
I saw Drummer Boy last night. He was like presenting an award at a
He's out here. He's always out here, and he always looked out for me like since early in my career.
Got you. Now, was there somebody you ever tried to get at, like, music-wise, that, just at that point in your career you weren't there yet and then came back around later and showed you love?
I think No, not really. I think just because like when I would meet people, it would be like in passing, or they would be like, yo, this is my artist Wiz. Like when I was signed to Warner, I met a lot of people back then, and then ended up like working with them and being cool with them now. Like Ty, me and him were in the studio, like just in sort of like a writing camp together, maybe like 9 or 10 years ago. Me, him, Kendrick, Problem, like we were all in the same studio together for a couple days, and everything just came full circle with all of us having our own careers, and so that was kind of cool.
Now that's dope. Now for those who don't know what a writing camp is, typically a bunch of artists get together in a room and just write songs for other people. Or
write songs for other people, come up with hook ideas. Some of them might be for your album, some of them might just be for other artists on the label. It's like if you're popping and you got a wave, they try to utilize that as much as possible, and it's good to get that because you establish relationships. Like I said, because I met 4 artists who now it's like we're all doing our own thing.
Dope.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever been in a position where you've accepted songs that people wrote for you? Because there's always that big argument in hip hop.
Yeah.
You can't consider yourself a GOAT if you had ghostwriters.
Yeah, no, that's not true. I think a lot of the best artists collaborate with somebody who they trust, and I've never had anybody like write me lyrics or anything like that. But We Them Boys, I did that song with Detail. And that was his cadence. The hold up, we them boys. Like the words were totally different because as a writer, like I think the majority of the best writers come in and make the song theirs. So it's like he gave me the idea and the cadence, and it was perfect. It was something that I wouldn't have came up with on my own, and I was able to make it mine and then turn it into a hit song.
So when you create, do you prefer creating in a situation where you're in a room by yourself, or do you like to bounce ideas off of people?
I like to be in the room with a lot of people, but I don't really say my ideas out loud. That's just how I work. I'll put it all down and then leave it out there for anybody to digest or be like, yo, this part's crazy. We should repeat this or we should do that, because everybody has different input and like certain people hear things differently. So there is a community aspect to it, but I just like to be free and get everything out first, and then we could critique it later.